All right, welcome back. We'll be looking at the Photoshop interface, and I'll be walking you through the program itself, trying to show you where some things are as a form of introduction to the software itself. So this is Photoshop. Okay, as you can see, I'm intentionally using Photoshop to do the presentation. All right, and this is the interface. Everything you see once you open Photoshop is the interface. So I'll be moving you around so you get familiar with where certain things are at. Okay, but note that you are not expected to know everything right now. Okay, it's just a bit of introduction just to warm you up a bit. But when you start working on projects, after a while, you realize that without even thinking, your brain just takes you to a particular aspect. It just works over time, okay, with practice. All right. So the very first part of the interface I'll be showing you is called the document window. Okay, the document window is where you have your document open. Okay, just as you can see. Let me click on File and open a new document, as you can see. Okay, so once you open a new document, this white aspect, the white aspect is called the canvas. Okay, so the canvas is a plain surface on which you work, on which you create stuffs, on which you create your design. Okay, so this white aspect is called the canvas. Okay, all around the white aspect, you have the gray area. Okay, the gray area is called the paste board. Paste board. Okay, you can see here, paste board. All right, so the canvas and the paste board makes up the document window. Okay, so the document window. All right, and the next thing I want to show is the document tab. Up here, you can see a tab, just like if you are browsing, if you are using a browser, probably Chrome, you can open up several tabs. So also in Photoshop. Okay, so here is a tab here, and here is another one. Okay, meaning that I have several documents open. All right, so it's called a document tab. It shows you the name of the document open. You can see this tab here shows me introduction to graphic design, which was the last session we had. And the next tab just opens up to the Photoshop interface. So you can switch tabs this way. Okay, so it's the document tab. It displays the name and you see the percentage of the zoom level. All right, how zoomed in or out the document is at that moment. Okay, so you know this now. You know your document window, you know your document tab. The next thing I want us to look at is probably one of the most important aspects of Photoshop here is your tools bar, where you have all your tools. Almost all your tools, all right? Almost all the tools that you would be needing, okay? So you have tools for selection, you have tools for editing, painting, adding shapes and what have you, text and all right? Your move tool, and okay. So one thing I want you to take note of here is there are some of these icons here that have a tiny arrow just beneath it. You can see these tiny arrows, okay? That are drop-down menus. It means that once you click on a particular one and hold it down, it opens up more related tools to that particular tool. Okay, so you can see more related tools to that particular tool. Okay, so any of these that has the drop down, the tiny triangle beneath it, you just click and hold down and you will see several of such related tools will pop up. Okay, and this is just to keep your Photoshop clean and not overcrowded. You can imagine if you had all those tools exposed, probably half of the interface will be crowded with just tools. So this was I think it's smart to have that. So drop downs of related tools embedded in each. Okay, the next thing I would like us to look at is the options bar. Okay, so the options bar is just directly above the document window. This is the options bar here. All right, so if I click on the first tool here, what you see is that it brings up the options for that particular tool. So as I change tools, the options bar changes. You can see that. All right, you can see that. So the options bar just brings up more options in relation to the particular tool that is being selected. All right, so it's directly above the document window. Okay, so right above every other thing is the menu bar. Okay, right at the very top of your Photoshop interface is the menu bar. Here you have the major menu, okay, file, edit, image, layer type, and all right? That's the menu bar where you can create, open up a new document, close, save, and do some other things. Okay, so that's the menu bar. One other aspect that we haven't talked about here, probably the second to the most important also, is the panels. Okay, at your far right hand corner, you have the panels here. Okay, one of the most important here is the layers panel. So we'll be doing a lot here. You can see Photoshop, one of the strengths of Photoshop is being able to work in layers. Okay, so when we start designing and working on some projects, you understand the layers panel better. Okay, so this is just a brief walkthrough of the Photoshop interface. Like I said, you don't need to know everything right now. You don't need to know exactly where what is right now, but this is just to get you acquainted to the interface as you start working on projects and designs. After a while, without even thinking, you will know exactly where the move tool is. You will know exactly what tool. Our brain works as smart as that, okay? Because I know as a beginner, you might be overwhelmed. You might be wondering, how am I going to know where to go? All these tools, they are just so much, okay? So let me just calm your nerves a bit by telling you that, hey, Photoshop is a lot, okay? But you don't need more than 20 to 30% of the tools to be able to do what you want to do. There are several tools here that I've not used in a long while. Okay, there are just a few of them, a couple of them that you would be using from time to time, and then it becomes automatic. You know, when you just need a particular tool, your brain just knows where to go and create that particular effect. All right, so yes, we've come to the end of this session, the Photoshop interface, and we'll be meeting at the next session where we'll be looking at the design principles. See you there.